currently on a trip with my family to Arizona, and I was just recalling how I was on the same trip 3 years ago, and I was in a very different state, just mentally and emotionally, spiritually, what I was going through at the time. 3 years ago, I remember pouring out into my little cherry blossom notebook how I had a lot of heartache and things were really heavy and life felt terrible at the time. And I prayed a lot through my grief and just asked God to minister to me in that season. The heartache I was going through felt like it was going to last forever. And here I am 3 years later, and I'm really grateful to report that God has brought a lot of healing and that there has been a future beyond the season and the valley that I was in at that time. I couldn't see it then though. And so I wanted to stop for a moment and say to someone who maybe is following and who's going through a really painful season, who's hurting a lot and life feels terrible and you're just suffering, that you're not alone. It says in the book of Isaiah that Jesus has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. We know that God is a father to us who is acquainted with sorrow. He understands and he cares when we are suffering. And so if you're there too, God journal and keep pouring out heartache and pain into it. Well, I know I've been there as well, and God is present. And 3 years later, after a really painful season of my life, I really see that God has brought a lot of healing, and that's possible for you too.